and he introduced me to CTOx. And that was one of the best things that could have happened. I actually had another referral from somebody else as well in my network when I was kind of discussing this. And that's brought it about. And, when you start off as a new business, you really have no idea what you're doing.
Welcome to Inside CTOx podcast. I'm Donna, head of membership and partnership, and today we're stepping inside the minds of some of the most innovative tech leaders out there. This isn't just a podcast, it's a place where CTO journeys come alive, where stories of struggles, breakthroughs, and growths unfold. We're here to unpack the experiences of real CTOs navigating through our CTOx Accelerator and membership program. So sit back, tune in, let's get into the story. Welcome to Inside CTOx. Today's guest is Tony, a seasoned tech executive with over 20 years leading global transformations across SaaS, manufacturing, and supply chain sectors. From earning a US patent for service-oriented architecture to becoming a CTO who empowers teams to do their best work, Tony's career is a masterclass in both innovation and leadership. Since joining CTOx, he's experienced a powerful shift, bringing a little bit of that mindset to every client call and engagement. So whether you're thinking about going fractional or scaling your impact, Tony brings clarity and conviction to help you get there. Let's get into it. Welcome, Tony.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Donna. Pleasure to be here.
Happy to have you. So let's start right back at the beginning. What was
Sure.
the moment that pushed you to say, I am ready for CTOx?
So yeah, that was quite a journey because I'd spent many years in kind of corporate world and the last 13 as CTO, and wonderful experience and great company and great leave time, exit time when I come out from there. And I'd had a few months to kind of contemplate where I was going in the future. And I was literally thinking, oh, I'll probably just go back another CTO, look for another company. But I wanted to get a lot of exposure for other companies, other businesses. I'm very passionate about founder-led businesses and startups and or early stage businesses, and seeing and helping them scale. I experienced that a lot through my past life, and thought, well, what better way? I've got so much experience here. What better way than potentially to look at being a fractional CTO and expanding that side? And ironically, I decided to create my business. I kind of set my profile on LinkedIn. And funnily enough, one of the people from CTOx reached out to me trying to sell me CTO services, which I thought was quite ironic. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's got some good lead generation going on here. So I turned the tables and said, hey, can we have a call? I'd love to learn more about this space. And he introduced me to CTOx. And that was one of the best things that could have happened. I actually had another referral from somebody else as well in my network when I was kind of discussing this. And that's brought it about. And, when you start off as a new business, you really have no idea what you're doing. And this good opportunity to kind of just accelerate that process. If I'd have known back then what I know now, I would have been hunting around for something like this, but I wasn't at the time. So,
Yeah.
I was thinking, go out my own and make all this stuff as we go along. So
That's funny. It's surprising how many times we hear that story that it
Mhm.
just kind of fell out of the sky just at that
Yeah,
right
yeah,
moment in time. Call it the universe, call it whatever spirituality you believe in, but like sometimes the
exactly.
timing is just like so perfect.
Yes, yeah. And I really believe 70% make your future and 30% leave it up to chance and see what chance throws your way as well. And this is definitely the right timing, just the right place, right time.
That's it. Now, you mentioned before you've had a huge career. So tell us a little bit. You earned that US patent in leading global transformations, if I'm getting that right. Like,
Yeah.
walk us through that journey and like how that's impacted you now.
Sure, sure. So I was actually based out of Ireland. I started work for a company, QED. We do manufacturing software and supply chain software. And the business is probably like 40, 50 years old now. But back then, they were stuck in the world of where they'd built a very early stage software, ERP manufacturing based software. and that was stuck on old technology, and they couldn't modernize it. And I was recently I'd moved over to Ireland, living just outside of Limerick, a beautiful
Great
place
country.
over. That's where my first daughter was born as well. So, and then and from that, in that company, we were trying to re-engineer this old product in effect, and we worked out it's going to take a long time to go and do that. And through some past experience that I had an idea that I was trying at home. I remember distinctively sitting at home, experimenting with code, trying to do something where we didn't have to rewrite everything, where we could maybe put a facade on the top. And this had never really been done in the industry at that time. Now it's common practice, but kind of wrapping the old technology. Uh, and one day I had was out for lunch with the head of the office, and happened to be just mentioning, "Hey, I have an idea where we might be able to do this without rewriting all the code and maybe delivering something in months instead of years." And kind of turned around and said, "Well, what do you need?" And got a proof of concept going, got a small team, a lot of graduates in on there, and we all jumped in. It was like a startup environment, built out a prototype, which worked. I guess suddenly flown over to the US here to head
Yes.
office, met the president of the company, um, started building out the architecture. I remember in the days when the internet was still young, we had to go to bookshops, those old things, and bought several books on Java servers and so on. And then and literally built out this solution. And we took a solution that went from being able to build a browser-based application on our product, which would have taken years, into something that started delivering about 80% coverage on the application in
Wow.
about months. So it was a
Wow.
massive journey. And at the time, I thought everybody must be doing this sort of thing. But it wasn't the case. One of the folks in the company said, "Hey, you should patent this for the company." Started down that journey and thought, typical imposter syndrome feeling. Oh, I couldn't have had an idea that nobody else had.
Mm.
And but it was. We actually got the patent all the way through. Very proud to say it's been cited many times. For anybody who's doing any kind of wrapper technology, it's usually cited in there because some of
Wow.
the early stages of putting a virtual interface. They also give us APIs across the product. And wasn't until my next project that we actually retired that technology, and it was it did take many years to kind of re-engineer a big ERP solution, but it was a great journey and a big lesson in both teamwork, that kind of startup and excited
Mm.
environment. So a belief in yourself that there are ideas. Every one of us has something that's unique and
Mhm.
unique ideas, and bringing those to the table.
Yeah, wow. What a story and what a journey, like physically
Mhm.
and emotionally,
Yeah.
what a journey. So like talk to us a little bit about like you from the UK, moving to Ireland, then into US. Like how has CTO life changed from UK to Ireland, US? Is it the same? How different is it?
It's I'd say it's always different. Actually, CTO life is different all the time anyway, and it's kind of one of the most undefined roles.
Mhm.
So I think for me, when I first became CTO, I was like looking at books, thinking, "Oh my god, what does a CTO do?" And then I gave up pretty quickly on there because it was just make it what you want. And there's lots of different flavors, whether you're an outward facing, internal engineering focus. I would say what I've always stood by is what are the goals of the business? And if I can always tie into what the goals of the business are with what we're doing, and always moving that needle forward, that's driven success. And I think
Mhm.
that's what kept me both in the role and kept me competitive in that time. You've got to change with the times. But I
That's
would
so
say,
good.
I was fortunate to experience it across a number of different countries. I lived in Shanghai for a while,
Oh wow.
lived in London, a little bit of time in Australia. So we had lots of experience to kind of work globally with different teams, and I love that experience. It's you realize there's so much talent in the world, and it's
Mm.
great. You get on a call first thing in the morning, you're talking over with Europe, and at the end of the day, you're talking with Asia, or or folks in Australia or something,
Yeah.
and then poor folks in India who are up in the middle of the night somewhere in the day.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
truly global, and
Mhm.
we see that a lot with the community. We've got people from all over the world, and those people then are traveling all over and have clients from all over. So I do
Mhm.
think it is one of the most diverse areas that you can work in, because you're going to speak
Yeah.
to so many different people, which is just, it keeps it
Um,
interesting.
it does, yeah, and some of my clients are in Europe now as well, so I've got US and
Yeah.
Europe, and I enjoy that diversity.
There you go. Now, you've mentioned startups quite a bit.
Mhm.
What are, I mean, tell us the pros and cons of startup world versus global corporate world.
Yeah, yeah, it's really funny because startups wanna be the big players and wanna be in that big corporate world,
Mhm.
and the big players want to be like startups. So actually, what I've done is position myself in both of those worlds. When I was choosing my niche within CTOx, I actually chose two different areas. One was kind of supporting private equity, and that's on the large players and kind of in that more financial, well structured. Everybody's got technical debt, doesn't matter where you are, but usually large companies, bigger technical debt, bigger re-engineering, and typically might be moving slower. They find it hard to get that innovation and that startup
Mhm.
mindset to reinvent themselves. Um, so bringing that support to that side with the private equity and almost like that startup thinking. Then on the flip side, working with founders in those early stages, you find that they're incredibly dynamic
Mm.
because time is so scarce for them. You know that they've got to do everything as efficiently as possible. So they usually have the best tools.
Mhm.
They've got things that save them a lot of time. They're being very efficient, very fiscally aware, and then that close connection with what they're building and that close customer tie-in. So what they're looking at as they scale is more of, okay, how do we scale with predictability? How do we
Mhm.
as we get more people coming on board, how do we manage them and build an organization around it? And then as any founder and getting investment can be a double-edged sword. It's very exciting, but now you're introducing a board, and that board wants confidence in how you're building out the business. And that's where I bring a lot of value to help those founders with getting confidence in the team. Usually there might be an existing team that's in place that's very talented, but just hasn't had the experience.
Mm.
And what I think all of us who are part of CTOx bring to the table is we've been there and done it, and
That
that been there and done
experience.
those
Mm.
people to build off of the shoulders of experience. And at the end of the day, we're just helping lots of people. It's wonderful, actually. That's the biggest, most satisfying thing I'd say is how you're seeing great products. I'm a very product oriented person, so seeing great
Mhm.
products in the software space coming to life and helping people get there quicker and more efficiently and so on.
Yeah, they really value that experience, and I think that's the one things I always encourage, like, the members to be like, yeah, don't be afraid to show your
Mhm.
experience on those initial kind of like that marketing and sales outreach. What was the thing that surprised you the most when you started to do that marketing and sales? Because it's different when you're selling
Mhm.
yourself versus
Yeah.
being as part of a company, you're selling a product or a service or like something else.
Mhm.
Like, what really surprised you in that journey?
Yeah, well, it's funny because in my past life, I would say, "Oh, yeah, I was like a salesperson," because I was always brought into the deals with the executive
Mhm,
team, the kind of last stage closing, and thought, "Yeah,
mhm,
sales, that's easy." Oh my God, sales. If there's any one shop for everybody, it's lead generation and sales, and
mhm,
everybody. Even we have a great community of marketers as well, fractional marketers, and I've met personally with a number of them, and even they find this lead generation and the kind of closing the most challenging
mhm.
part of the job. So it's getting that sales mindset. It's building um, the closing techniques. It's having a glass of water at hand, which
Drink
Donna
water.
recommended to me when you get to those awkward moments. You need to ask a challenging question. Have a glass of water while you
Mhm.
wait for the response. So,
Yeah.
uh, so always having those things at hand. But I think then really truly understanding your value. Who are you really
Mhm,
servicing? And
mhm.
and I think for me was really digging into what's that passion, what is the driver of
Yeah.
and as I said, founder led businesses. in the software space. That's really what drove me, and it's almost like a mission then.
Mm.
And I think that passion then starts to come through um, as you're in conversations and so on. And then it takes time, building up
It
connections.
does.
Um,
It does.
and
I
I was,
think everybody's surprised about how long it takes.
yes, yeah, yeah,
It's not a kind of quick pill. You just flip a
no,
switch
mhm.
and it just happens. But when it happens, it's so amazing.
Oh,
What's that
very
that
much so,
feeling?
yeah. Yeah, and it's amazing the connections. I mean, one of the things is obviously leverage your existing network of people.
Mm,
So one thing with that is great catching up with people I haven't spoke to in years sometimes. But it is amazing how the most bizarre connections. I could go through every customer that I have, and the connection was not linear at all. It wasn't kind of a, yes, there was the odd cold outreach, but
mhm,
the strange. This person knew this person, and just so happened that something that you said in the call triggered something, and then
mhm.
somebody connected you, and then a few months later, that follow up comes through. It's just so it's all about people. I think that's the most
It
important
is.
thing, and establish that connection, and just have fun meeting up with people.
Yeah, it's a great excuse to reach out to people and be human. We've all
Yeah.
of these AI and we're all big fans of AI and that, but my one advice is always like just be human. Have a real conversation with another human and you'll be
Yeah,
surprised
it
where
is.
that
Yeah.
leads to. Yeah.
Just even on life or just in general. I mean, the
Mm,
number of people I've spoken to, and because I've spoken to past colleagues from past lives, they've all said, "Wow, I need to catch up with that person." And you kind of all of a
mm.
sudden you're becoming the glue of, and it's not a one-time pass as well. We kind of keep regular connections between a
Yeah.
lot of our colleagues. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because there are certain do's and don'ts with
Hmm.
sales and marketings. There are very much do's and don'ts, and there are certain tactics. So the one you mentioned was the drink water. So we're trying to do a price drop or an awkward question, and we need to maintain that silence. And the easy thing is
Hmm.
just to grab a glass of water. Um, but what are the other things that you've learned that really kind of was like, wow, I've never heard that before. I've never heard that positioned in
Hmm.
such a way that's
Yeah.
helped you either on the marketing or on the serve side.
Yeah, and I'd actually say I'd say there's not any just one thing, but I'm a very visual person. So
Mm.
for me, in every kind of engagement, every part of this working life, I've got mini CTOx team on my shoulder in different forms. Whether it's software on the sales side, or Lior in the original deal, or thinking about
Mm.
delegating down, um, through to Keely on the social side, and
Mhm.
Donna on the Marissa on the well-being side. So I
Mm.
think when I first came into this, like with all past jobs or new experiences, you come in with certainly I had imposter syndrome. I mean, you think, oh, how could
Mm.
I possibly be doing all of this? And there seems like so much to kind of learn as well.
Mhm.
Um, One of the things that you realize you bring so much value.
Mhm.
I remember, for instance, speaking to Leo and saying, I don't feel like I know enough about startups, new systems, building out new products, um, because I've always been in the transformation in the large scale product space. And the one thing he said to me was, well, that large scale product, it was something new that you designed and came about. He said, that's no different than what early stage companies are doing. And I thought, yeah, what am I thinking? This is obvious. So some of those really obvious things that are just in
Mhm.
front of you, um, but the support from the team has been
Mm.
amazing. I do really feel like I've got mini versions of everybody sat on my shoulder, in
Thank
every
you.
kind of part of the life here. I think
Yeah.
it's a phenomenal program, around this
Thank you
side.
for that. And it takes a village. It's not just
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
not
yeah.
Leo on his own. He's amazing and the
Mhm.
clarity he brings is
Yes.
fantastic. But when you bring the whole team together, all the experts that we bring
Mhm,
in, and everybody has their little thing that they are particular and expert at.
mhm.
And then there's the community. Like what we've learned
Oh,
back from the
yeah.
members has been
Mhm.
just like phenomenal. Is
Yeah.
there somebody in the community that's you've particularly kind of built a special relationship or has sort of impacted you in a certain way?
Yeah, there's quite a few actually. Again, I've kind of this feels, first of all, the transparency and openness within the community of CTOs. I mean, we talk about everything, even down to how you're feeling, and there's that resonance. So I would have never believed in kind of this work environment that you'd be so open with people, and
Mm.
that's obviously a great fostering of the kind of ground rules, let's say, that everybody brings to the table. But a number of folks, like Benjamin was a person who brought me in to begin with, and he has been a periodic coach for different things throughout this. So, it's amazing how available folks are. Bob as well has helped out a lot. And then we have a peer group. This is one of the things I loved, is kind of having these peer groups where you have a small group of you who are all starting at the same time, and then helping keep each other accountable. That's one of the hardest things, I think, as an entrepreneur, sort of kind of when you're starting up your own business, is how do you keep the motivation for yourself going? How do you commit to somebody? You don't have a boss. Well, I do have my wife, but who's the boss that's keeping you on task, and that's yourself. So you,
Mm.
by accountable to others, and that peer group's been great. The insight in on there, the education, the things that we share, we're all in the same boat together. So the community's been incredible, and even with customers, I say, hey, I'm part of a 250, 300 person CTO group. I can ask any question
Yeah,
of that group, and somebody somewhere has probably been there, done it, or knows somebody.
absolutely.
That's the power of what we bring to the table, and it's an incredible asset. I used to shy away from things like that, thinking, "Oh, I shouldn't tell people I'm part of a group." Strange mindset,
Yeah.
but
Well,
then it's like,
yeah,
no, this
it's
is a great sales thing. It's I mean, one of my clients explicitly said, we're really interested because you're connected. We need that connection because we need to find the best knowledge out there.
mhm.
And if you can facilitate that, that's fantastic. Yeah.
It's amazing, and when you look at, the community, the backgrounds that they have, as you say, like, if you need
Hmm.
help in any system, any tool, like anything, one of the closing in on
Hmm.
300 now, one of them will have had experience in it. A lot of people will have an opinion. That's
Hmm.
and are willing
Absolutely.
are willing to share it. But I think the one thing that stands out time and time again is the positivity. There's no
Hmm.
competition. As you say, like, there's openness, people
Hmm.
are just being honest with each other, and everybody's rooting for each other, everybody's
Hmm.
supporting each other. And you don't often find that, unfortunately, in these types of communities, you
It
know.
is totally. I mean, I've been part of lots of different things and some great communities, but this is unique for that openness and
Mm.
just making yourself want to be better, not through
Mm.
force or anything, but you just you get a passion for wanting to be better, doing things in smarter ways, and it changes you definitely in the over this last year, the mindset change of
Mm.
um, how you just think about things. I know that if I went back into a regular CTO job, I would be so much better through everything that I've done in the last several months
Mhm.
than ever before. And it's always a good sign that you're learning something new anyway.
That's
But
it.
it's very satisfying.
Every day's a school day, especially here at the CTOX.
Yes.
So looking ahead, 6 months from now, we get on
Hmm.
another podcast. Tell
Yeah.
me tell me what that looks like. What does success look like 12 months from now?
Well, I'm building up a really nice community of both early stage businesses and private equity and supporting those. And it's really exciting living in both those worlds. And I think there's mutual benefit for businesses at both ends of the spectrum. So for me, it's really expanding in on that, building out more repeatability and cross-pollinating some of these ideas, helping businesses be more successful while protecting those businesses as well so they don't kind of hang themselves, especially on the investment front. Things can go south quickly if you're not careful. So making sure that things stay safe. But it's really exciting from that to feel that you're building out that business and
Mhm.
getting confident in that side. But I think also, an important arm to this, one thing learned throughout all of this is it's about family life as well, and having that freedom. For me, I can work anywhere in the world if I want to.
It's
I
amazing.
can take the time off. I can, I've got my own freedom. I choose my own customers. I don't like who I'm working with, I don't have to work with them. So it's a very different lifestyle and mindset. Yes, there's challenges, but there's personal and important kind of personal driven goals as well.
Mm,
And I see both of those being realized as we go forward here.
yeah. Oh, we've no doubt you'll be incredibly successful. Okay, we now have our final segment. Now, Tony
Mhm.
doesn't know anything about this. This is a surprise on Tony, and the members have been great about not sharing this with each other. So we're gonna do something a little special. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT live right here, right now, for a thought-provoking, timely question, completely generated on the spot, and Tony, you have to
Mhm.
answer it. Are you game?
I am game. Oh my god, what the hell? Yeah.
Hesitation, hesitation. All right, well, let's see. We've had some real fun with this one. So, everything can be solved
Yes,
with a glass of water. Okay,
that's
so
right.
I'm gonna pull up my GPT.
Mm.
I'm gonna say, okay, hello, ChatGPT. We love a bit of spontaneity, so we thought who better to challenge us than AI? What question would you like to ask fractional CTO Tony at this exact moment in time? Okay. Okay, it's thinking, it's thinking, it's thinking. It's really thinking about you doing. Okay, okay. Oh, okay. This isn't
Oh,
we haven't had this one before. This is interesting.
okay,
So,
cool.
Tony,
Mhm.
ChatGPT would like to know if your clients suddenly banned all buzzwords, digital transformation, AI, innovation, etc.
Yes.
How would you explain your value without using a single industry term?
Wow. So for my clients, I help founders keep their business as they scale. There we go.
There we go. That is
And
because that is
maybe realize their own dreams as well, because
yeah. Keep their
everybody
business
reaches.
is
Yeah.
interesting because you see that so often. I know we a lot of times that's one of the things some of the members have said where they, they want to work with startups, they've reached out to founders, but
Mhm.
there's a fear, particularly if it's somewhat of a technical founder, but not to the extent of,
Yeah.
of you guys. And they're worried, I'm going to bring somebody in, I'm going to look dumb, they're going to come in and
Mhm.
take over the company. So like,
Yeah.
what's your advice? What's your advice to CTOs who are facing that challenge? Like what should they say?
Mhm.
Banning all buzzwords.
Yes, yeah.
How should they put their mind at ease for that founder?
So for that founder, I think, they're bringing, uh I think for any CTO is really connect with the business and
Mhm.
understand what is the business trying to achieve and where it is. If it doesn't have investors, there's always some investors, but if it doesn't have professional investors, it's a bit of a different control side, but always tie in with, well, what does the business need? Um, and then keep it simple. Don't talk tech. I hate tech for tech's sake. There's always got to be some business connection there.
Mhm.
So I would say to other CTOs, always keep that business mindset. Like I said at the beginning here, I built my whole career around understanding what the business needed and what their strategy was, and making sure that everything that I was working on was tied to that in some way. And
Mhm.
every one of the little bits of eating the elephant
Yes.
uh, will ultimately take that business to grow.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
sold our company 3.5 times its value that we got for shareholders, employees, and so on. So it's that's the benefits of kind of thinking in those sorts of terms.
That is solid advice. Well, thank you, Tony. Thank you
Thank you
for
so much.
sharing your journey today, sharing all that wonderful advice. I hope it was really helpful for everybody listening. And thank you for asking our ChatGPT question.
Yeah, no worries at all.
See you next time in CTOX Inside. Stories, experiences, and advice you hear today are incredibly valuable, not just for CTOs, but for the broader tech community and leaders. To our listeners, thanks for tuning in to Inside CTOX. Don't forget to follow us on social media, tag us, and share your favorite insights from the episode. We love hearing your feedback. Make sure to subscribe and check in again for our next episode, where we'll continue to explore the stories behind the tech leaders shaping the future. Until next time.